2026 Connecticut DMV Knowledge Test Class B Test 150 questions and complete answers. Question 1. A driver can rely on front wheel braking to work. Option A, on dry roadways only. Option B, under all conditions. Option C, under all conditions except for snow. The correct answer is option B, under all conditions. Explanation. Front wheel braking is effective under all road conditions. It is unlikely that you will experience a front wheel skid even on ice. Question 2. To check the automatic transmission fluid level in some vehicles, you will have to: Option A, park your vehicle uphill. Option B, park your vehicle downhill. Option C, leave the vehicle running. The correct answer is option C, leave the vehicle running. Explanation. In some vehicles, it may be necessary to leave the engine running when checking the automatic transmission fluid level. Question 3. If an applicant does not receive an air brakes endorsement. Option A, they cannot operate a vehicle with air brakes. Option B, they can only operate a vehicle with air brakes in interstate commerce. Option C, they can only operate a vehicle with air brakes in interstate commerce. The correct answer is option A. They cannot operate a vehicle with air brakes. Explanation. If you wish to be licensed to drive a CMV with air brakes, you must pass the air brakes knowledge test and use a vehicle with air brakes for your skills test. Question 4. Air storage tanks. Option A, are not allowed on a vehicle. Option B, hold compressed air for the brakes. Option C, should be drained of excess air after every trip. The correct answer is option B, hold compressed air for the brakes. Explanation. In an air brake system, the air storage tanks hold compressed air to be used by the brakes. The number and size of air tanks varies among vehicles. Question 5. If a driver begins to feel fatigued while driving, they should: Option A, continue driving. Option B, drink coffee. Option C, stop and rest. Option D, drive faster to finish the trip more quickly. The correct answer is option C, stop and rest. Explanation. If you begin to feel drowsy while driving, the only safe response is to safely leave the road and get some sleep. Using artificial stimulants can be dangerous because they may cause extreme fatigue when they begin to wear off. Question 6. An encroachment is when: Option A, a driver does not appear for their scheduled basic skills test. Option B, a vehicle touches an exercise boundary line during the basic skills test. Option C, a driver fails one section of the basic skills test. The correct answer is option B, a vehicle touches an exercise boundary line during the basic skills test. Explanation. An encroachment during the basic vehicle control skills test is when an exercise boundary line is touched or crossed by any portion of the applicant's vehicle. Every encroachment will be counted as an error. Question 7. When driving in fog, you should: Option A, use the windshield wipers. Option B, use the low beam headlights. Option C, use the high beam headlights. Option D, use the heater. The correct answer is option B, use the low beam headlights. Explanation. While it is best to entirely avoid driving in fog, you should turn on your low beam headlights if you must drive in foggy conditions. Using high beams is a bad idea because the lights will reflect off of the fog and back into your eyes, making the road and its surroundings even more difficult to see. Question 8. Friction in an skem brake is caused when the brake shoes and linings. Option A, press against the outside of the brake drum. Option B, press against the inside of the brake drum. Option C, push against each other. The correct answer is option B, press against the inside of the brake drum. Explanation. Friction inside a brake drum is caused when the brake shoes and linings push against the inside of the drum. The friction in the drums will slow and stop the vehicle. Question 9. Black ice is: Option A, usually thick. Option B, usually thin. Option C, not a hazard when driving. The correct answer is option B, usually thin. Explanation. Black ice is a layer of ice that is thin and clear enough for the road to be visible through it. The surface will look like a wet road. Always be alert to black ice if the road looks wet when the temperature is below freezing. Question 10. Brake pads should: Option A, be covered with grease. Option B, be covered with oil. Option C, be covered with brake fluid. Option D, not have any oil or grease on them. The correct answer is option D, not have any oil or grease on them. Explanation: when inspecting your brakes, you should verify that the shoes and pads do not have any oil, grease, or brake fluid on them. Question 11. Of the following, which is the most slippery surface? Option A, ice that is dry. Option B, ice that is wet. Option C, wet pavement. The correct answer is option B, ice that is wet. Explanation: ice becomes wet when the weather is just warm enough to melt the ice slightly. Wet ice is much more slippery than ice that is not wet. Question 12. When using the controlled braking method in an emergency situation, you should: Option A, apply the brakes as hard as possible without locking the wheels. Option B, apply the brakes with about half of your usual force. Option C, apply the brakes so the wheels lock. Option D, apply the brakes with minimal pressure. The correct answer is option A, apply the brakes as hard as possible without locking the wheels. Explanation: the controlled braking method for emergency stops involves applying the brakes as hard as you can without locking the wheels. Keep steering wheel movement small when braking in this way. Question 13. After an accident, flares should be used with caution because: Option A, there may be spilled fuel on the ground that could ignite. Option B, other drivers may not see the flares. Option C, flares are expensive. Option D, other drivers may get confused about what is happening. The correct answer is option A, there may be spilled fuel on the ground that could ignite. Explanation: after an accident, spilled fuel and improper use of flares can result in a fire. Question 14. When pulled off on the side of the road: Option A, a driver should keep the driver's side door open. Option B, a driver should turn on the emergency flashers. Option C, the driver should wave their arms. The correct answer is option B, a driver should turn on the emergency flashers. Explanation: if you must stop on the side of the road, make sure to use your four-way emergency flashers. This is particularly important at night. Question 15. With your low beam headlights turned on, you should be able to see about blank ahead of your vehicle. Option A, 15 feet. Option B, 75 feet. Option C, 100 feet. Option D, 250 feet. The correct answer is option D, 250 feet. Explanation: low beam headlights allow you to see about 250 feet ahead of your vehicle. When driving at night, adjust your speed so that you will be able to stop in the distance illuminated by your headlights. Question 16. In a dual air brake system, if one air system is very low on pressure: Option A, none of the brakes will work at all. Option B, either the front or rear brakes will not be fully operable. Option C, there is usually no noticeable effect. The correct answer is option B, either the front or rear brakes will not be fully operable. Explanation: in a dual air brake system, either the front or rear brakes will not be fully operable if one of the air systems gets too low on pressure. If the air pressure in either tank gets too low while you are driving, you should exit the road and park as soon as possible. Question 17. When preparing to enter traffic, you should do all of the following except: Option A, wait for a large gap between vehicles. Option B, be prepared for your vehicle to accelerate slowly, especially if it is loaded. Option C, make sure you can completely cross traffic if necessary without interfering with traffic. Option D, assume other drivers will make room for your much larger vehicle. The correct answer is option D, assume other drivers will make room for your much larger vehicle. Explanation: when crossing or entering traffic, bear in mind the size of your vehicle and the distance it will need to accelerate. Wait for a gap in traffic that is large enough to accommodate your vehicle before you begin to accelerate. Remember that you will need more room to accelerate if your vehicle is heavily loaded. Before crossing a road, be sure that you can get all the way across without interfering with traffic. Question 18. When starting the engine as part of the pre-trip inspection, the driver should: Option A. Listen for unusual noises. Option B. Rev the engine. Option C. Turn up the radio. Option D. Turn on the heater. The correct answer is option A. Listen for unusual noises. Explanation: check your engine during the pre-trip inspection. After starting the engine, you should listen for unusual noises. Question 19. ABS allows you to: Option A. Drive faster. Option B. Brake harder. Option C. Stay in control when stopping. The correct answer is option C. Stay in control when stopping. Explanation: the function of an anti-lock braking system ABS is to help prevent wheel lock-up during hard braking. With ABS equipped on your vehicle, you should drive and brake in the same manner that you would without it. Question 20. Which of the following is not a good rule to follow when using turn signals? Option A. Signal early. Option B. Signal continuously. Option C. Do not use your turn signal if you think others know what you plan to do. Option D. Cancel your signal after the turn is completed. The correct answer is option C. Do not use your turn signal if you think others know what you plan to do. Explanation: to be certain that others are aware of your intentions, always signal whenever you plan to turn or change lanes. You should signal well in advance of a turn, signal continuously throughout the turn, and make sure to cancel the signal when you are finished turning. Question 21. In an engine compartment, loose belts will: Option A. Not turn the water pump and slash or fan properly, causing the engine to overheat. Option B. Make the engine run more efficiently. Option C. Make the fan run too much, causing the engine to run too coolly. Option D. Last longer than tight belts. The correct answer is option A. Not turn the water pump and slash or fan properly, causing the engine to overheat. Explanation: be sure to check the tightness of the belts in your engine compartment. Loose belts will not turn the water pump and slash or fan properly, which can lead the engine overheating. Question 22. After the engine is started, warning lights and buzzers should all: Option A. Stay on. Option B. Flicker occasionally. Option C. Turn off right away. Option D. Turn off once the vehicle begins moving. The correct answer is option C. Turn off right away. Explanation: after the engine is started, the warning lights and buzzers should deactivate immediately. The charging circuit warning, oil, coolant, and anti-lock braking system ABS lights should all turn off. Question 23. A burning tire should be: Option A. Cooled with water. Option B. Fanned with a blanket. Option C. Cut up with an axe. Option D. Covered with a tarp. The correct answer is option A. Cooled with water. Explanation: a burning tire should be cooled with water. A driver may need to use large quantities of water to properly cool the tire. Question 24. Which of the following is not a reason to use your mirrors? Option A. You are changing lanes. Option B. You are making a turn. Option C. You are looking at fuel prices. The correct answer is option C. You are looking at fuel prices. Explanation: while regular mirror checks should be part of your normal driving routine, checking your mirrors is especially important when turning, changing lanes, merging, and performing tight maneuvers. Question 25. The driver of a commercial motor vehicle: Option A. Can use any cell phone while driving. Option B. Can only use a hands-free mobile phone while driving. Option C. Can only use a cell phone on rural roads. Option D. Can use a cell phone at night. The correct answer is option B. Can only use a hands-free mobile phone while driving. Explanation: it is prohibited for CMV drivers to use handheld mobile phones while driving. Question 26. Stopping distance can be affected by: Option A. Speed. Option B. Engine oil. Option C. Time of day. Option D. Traffic. The correct answer is option A. Speed. Explanation: factors that can affect stopping distance include your vehicle's speed, its weight, and the traction provided by the road surface. Question 27. If your tractor is equipped with ABS but your trailer is not, the ABS. Option A will not be effective. Option B will still improve your steering control. Option C will make jackknifing easier. Option D will allow others to see when you brake. The correct answer is option B. Will still improve your steering control. Explanation. In a tractor-trailer combination, if the tractor is equipped with an anti-lock braking system ABS but the trailer is not, the ABS will still improve the driver's steering control. The driver should keep an eye on the trailer and let up on the brakes if the trailer begins to swing out. Question 28. The application pressure gauge. Option A shows how much air pressure is being applied to the brakes. Option B shows the temperature of air being used in the braking system. Option C shows the pressure of the air coming from the compressor. Option D shows the number of times the brakes have been used. The correct answer is option A. Shows how much air pressure is being applied to the brakes. Explanation. In an air brake system, the application pressure gauge shows how much air pressure is being applied to the brakes. Not all vehicles with an air brake system have this gauge. Question 29. When driving down a steep grade, your brakes may fade. What happens if brakes fade? Option A, they become quieter. Option B, they become less effective. Option C, they work better than usual. Option D, they work differently from front to back. The correct answer is option B. They become less effective. Explanation. If you use your brakes too much when traveling on a steep downgrade, they may overheat and become less effective. To avoid causing your brakes to overheat on a steep hill, you should rely on engine braking. Question 30. An alcohol evaporator in an air brake system. Option A makes the brakes work without squeaking. Option B prevents ice from forming in the braking system. Option C lubricates parts of the braking system. The correct answer is option B. Prevents ice from forming in the braking system. Explanation. Some air brake systems include an evaporator that introduces alcohol into the system. The alcohol can help prevent ice from forming within the system. Question 31. How long should it take for oil pressure to reach a normal level when starting a vehicle? Option A, a few seconds. Option B, about a minute. Option C, about 4 minutes. The correct answer is option A. A few seconds. Explanation. After starting a vehicle's engine, the oil pressure should come up to a normal level within seconds. Do not operate a vehicle if it has oil pressure that is low, dropping, or fluctuating. Question 32. When driving under wet conditions, a lack of spray coming from the tires of other vehicles indicates that. Option A, ice has formed on the road. Option B, the pavement is dry. Option C, the spray is caught on the underside of the vehicle. The correct answer is option A. Ice has formed on the road. Explanation. In wet conditions, a lack of spray coming from the tires of other vehicles indicates that ice has formed on the road. Be especially cautious when traveling under wet conditions in freezing weather. Question 33. The blank tells a driver how much pressure is in the air tanks. Option A, application pressure gauge. Option B, air compressor governor. Option C, supply pressure gauge. Option D, drum brake. The correct answer is option C, supply pressure gauge. Explanation. A vehicle that is equipped with air brakes must also be equipped with a supply pressure gauge. This gauge tells the driver how much air pressure is in each of the vehicle's air tanks. Question 34. If a vehicle is carrying hazardous cargo, placards must be placed. Option A, only on the front of the vehicle. Option B, on the front, rear, and sides of the vehicle. Option C, only on the driver's side of the vehicle. The correct answer is option B, on the front, rear, and sides of the vehicle. Explanation. Placards must be placed on the front, the rear, and both sides of a vehicle carrying hazardous cargo. They must be readable from any direction. Question 35. Joggers who are wearing headsets. Option A, are usually aware of what is happening around them. Option B, may not be aware of what is happening around them. Option C, can clearly hear sounds of traffic. Option D. Usually don't have music playing. The correct answer is option B. May not be aware of what is happening around them. Explanation. Be careful around pedestrians, joggers and cyclists who are wearing headphones. They may not be able to clearly hear surrounding traffic and may not be aware that you are there. Question 36. When experiencing cold weather, be sure to check your vehicle's alcohol evaporator. Option A. Every 3 hours. Option B. Every day. Option C. Every other week. The correct answer is option B. Every day. Explanation. An alcohol evaporator can help prevent ice from building up in an air brake system. In cold weather, the evaporator should be checked and refilled every day. Question 37. When an S-cam turns inside a brake drum, the S-cam. Option A. Presses the brake shoes against the inside of the brake drum. Option B. Presses the brake shoes against the brake linings. Option C. Presses the brake linings against the wheel axles. The correct answer is option A. Presses the brake shoes against the inside of the brake drum. Explanation. When a brake pedal is pressed and the S-cam is turned, the S-cam presses the brake shoes against the inside of the brake drum. This causes friction and will cause the vehicle to slow. Question 38. If a vehicle is power steering equipped, the hoses should beat. Option A. Checked for leaks. Option B. Securely connected to the battery. Option C. Carrying fuel. The correct answer is option A. Checked for leaks. Explanation. When inspecting a vehicle equipped with power steering, you should inspect the hoses, pumps and fluid levels. Specifically check the hoses for leaks. Question 39. Interstate carriers must have what information affixed to the commercial motor vehicles in their fleet? Option A. Trade name. Option B. Width of the truck. Option C. Length of the truck. The correct answer is option A. Trade name. Explanation. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations FMCSR require carriers to affix the legal name or single trade name to each CMV in their fleet. Question 40. Why should you regularly drain the air tanks? Option A. Because the air gets old and needs to be replaced. Option B. Because compressed air contains some water and the water collects in the tanks. Option C. To allow for a change in pressure. The correct answer is option B. Because compressed air contains some water and the water collects in the tanks. Explanation. Compressed air usually contains a certain amount of moisture and compressor oil which can build up in the air storage tanks and damage the brake system. The tanks should be drained to clean out these accumulations. On a tank with a manual drain valve, draining should be performed at the end of each day of driving. Question 41. When approaching a railroad crossing you should. Option A. Rely on the posted signals to indicate when a train is approaching. Option B. Rely on the movements of other motorists to indicate when a train is approaching. Option C. Not rely on signals to indicate when a train is approaching. Option D. Look to see if nearby plants are moving from the breeze created by a passing train. The correct answer is option C. Not rely on signals to indicate when a train is approaching. Explanation. As a precaution, you should always approach a railroad crossing under the assumption that a train is coming. Do not rely only on signals or your hearing to indicate that a train is approaching. Question 42. When traction is poor, a driver should accelerate especially slowly. Option A. Because it is always good to accelerate slowly. Option B. To keep from losing control of the vehicle. Option C. To keep from accelerating faster than the vehicle ahead. The correct answer is option B. To keep from losing control of the vehicle. Explanation. You should accelerate very gradually when driving under slippery conditions. Using too much power in such conditions may cause you to lose control of your vehicle. Question 43. If you are driving in fog, you should not. Option A. Turn on the four-way flashers. Option B. Slow down. Option C. Use your high beam lights. The correct answer is option C. Use your high beam lights. Explanation. If you must drive in fog, be sure to slow down. Turn on your flashers and low beam headlights. Question 44. During a basic vehicle control skills test exercise, your vehicle's final position should be Option A, in the general area that was described by the examiner. Option B, in the exact final position described by the examiner. Option C, within 3 feet of the final position described by the examiner. The correct answer is option B, in the exact final position described by the examiner. Explanation: you should finish each exercise with your vehicle in the exact position described by the examiner. You can be penalized for failing to complete an exercise exactly in the manner described by the examiner, potentially resulting in failure of the basic control skills test. Question 45. What is the number one cause of death and injury in a work zone? Option A, drivers speeding. Option B, slow drivers. Option C, animals crossing the road. The correct answer is option A, driver speeding. Explanation: speeding is the leading cause of death and injury in work zones. Use extra caution when driving near workers in a work zone. Question 46. Which of the following is not an example of a driving hazard? Option A, an accident on the roadway. Option B, an open road. Option C, a police car assisting a motorist on the side of the road. Option D, an ice cream truck. The correct answer is option B, an open road. Explanation: passing an accident scene can be hazardous because the people involved in the accident may not be watching traffic, and the scene itself may distract other passing drivers. Ice cream trucks can create hazardous conditions because they attract children who may not pay attention to nearby vehicles. Shoppers near the roadway are often paying attention to stores, not passing traffic. Question 47. A Class 1 hazardous material is Option A, an explosive. Option B, liquid. Option C, corrosive. The correct answer is option A, an explosive. Explanation: explosives are placed in hazardous materials class 1. Question 48. Which of the following is not an activity that causes a distraction? Option A, adjusting the radio. Option B, adjusting the CD player. Option C, eating. Option D, checking your mirrors. The correct answer is option D, checking your mirrors. Explanation: anything that takes your attention away from driving can be a dangerous distraction. This includes eating, drinking, smoking, or adjusting the vehicle's audio and climate controls. Question 49. Why should part of the vehicle be visible in a properly adjusted side mirror? Option A, it limits the view behind the trailer. Option B, it provides a point of reference for the driver. Option C, it allows the driver to see stickers placed on the side of the trailer. The correct answer is option B. It provides a point of reference for the driver. Explanation: side mirrors should be adjusted to display part of your vehicle. This will provide a point of reference when judging the location of nearby objects. Question 50. When leaving your vehicle, option A, the air brake should be applied. Option B, the parking brake should be applied. Option C, brakes should not be applied if the vehicle is left out of gear. The correct answer is option B. The parking brake should be applied. Explanation: parking brakes should be used whenever you park. If necessary, chock your wheels.